Hello and welcome to Rep Sports. I'm Gargi Raut, and joining me from Colombo, outside of the Premadasa, is Trisha Ghoshal. And it says Snehashish Mukherjee, but he's not there. He's with us in
He's finishing
spirit.
the match report. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
finishing the
I
match
know, I
report.
know. But till then, he is with us in spirit, and we will miss him. But India have now made it 12-0. What do you say about that, Trisha? Now, there's this one little, side of you that's happy that this has happened. India continues its winning streak against Pakistan, but at the same time, you're also disappointed at the fact at
Yes.
how much the Indian team struggled tonight.
Absolutely. I mean, first with the batting, I thought at least with the bowling there will be a clinical performance, but my God, I was so wrong. It was so difficult for the bowlers also to get the wickets. And Sidra Amin, Snehashish and I have been talking about Sidra Amin being one of the players to watch out for, and she has shown why. Of course, she had absolutely no help from the other end, and thank God for that. Otherwise, this 88-run win is actually not a convincing win. And you have scored 247 against Pakistan, which should have been close to 350. And you know what, Gargi, when you're at the venue, you will realize how small the ground is. And that is why it's so difficult to understand how did Indian batters, batted so badly. And then comes the bowling. Sneh Rana, Deepti Sharma, where were they bowling? What were they even trying to do? Towards the end, they got the wickets, yes, but had Kranti not dismissed the three important batters, you never know. We would have been in a tougher position. Maybe we wouldn't have lost, but we would have been in a much, much tougher position, and that's extremely disappointing because, especially Gargi, this is something that we are continuously saying that this was an easy match. Your next four matches are going to be your toughest matches. If you're playing like this in any of those four matches, you are losing hands down.
Absolutely. The fact that this was your chance, and Saika Chatterjee is also saying the same thing that I was also echoing in the mid innings, that this was your chance to improve your NRR, which would have definitely helped you later in the tournament, considering that now you're only facing incredibly strong teams. But um, we will continue talking about the batting and the bowling, but the fielding as well. What's going
Oh
on
my
there?
God, horrible. It almost is like Gargi. They were competing. Which department can be the worst? You know, batters put their hand up, and then bowlers said no. We want to make it worse. And then to top all the two off, the fielders, especially Richa Ghosh. Oh my God, five catches going down, and somebody with the gloves missing that many catches is absolutely ridiculous. Richa is, I think, Richa should be in the team just for the batting, not for the wicket keeping.
Yeah, absolutely. Priyanshu is saying 12-0. Trisha दी feel for you इतना late हो गया.
एग्जैक्टली बहुत लेट
What
हो गया
about
यार
you?
हम.
मेरे लिए क्यों नहीं फील कर रहे?
नहीं, हम आई थिंक सब
और
हमारे
what
लिए
about
फील कर रहे हैं
Snehashish?
क्योंकि हमने या एग्जैक्ट कोई तुम दोनों के लिए फील नहीं कर रहा है सच अ प्रिविलेज बट आई थिंक what Priyanshu basically means is we have been continuously saying we have a flight to catch, and Gargi, we will actually be in a mess thanks to the Indian team. We have to run to the hotel, pick up the luggage and run to the airport because of the kind of delay. We were expecting it to be done by 8:39, but thankfully, it India made you realize that how this team is actually not a World Cup winning team, to be very, very honest.
All right, lots of questions coming in. We'll take all of them. Saika Chatterjee is saying Pakistan kept on playing horizontal shots because that's the only thing they have in their armory and faltered. It won't be easy against Sena if you play like this.
Absolutely. Gargi, we have been speaking about this since the mid innings that if you play this way against any of the Sena countries, it almost seems like New Zealand, South Africa probably are easier countries than England and Australia to play. But if you play like this against South Africa or New Zealand also, they're going to get you. There's a Sophie Devine in New Zealand. There are Laura Woolward, Tajmin Bridge, all of them in South Africa. If your bowlers cannot be clinical, against this Pakistan batting who only know to play horizontal bat shots, then I'm actually very, very scared for the Indian team, to be honest.
Okay. Pradeep Shinde is saying today I watched more bugs than cricket. It's really boring. Tell us about the bug situation. Did they
Yeah,
did anyone get you in the press box or something?
no, no. In the press box, it was perfectly fine. But the bugs. This was interesting. I think when Sidra Amin was batting, absolutely initially, there was a point when the bell, lit up, with Sidra Amin being quite far away from the bell, and everyone was a little surprised. What happened? What hit the bell? That is when people realized it was actually a bug which hit the bell. That's why it lit up. So imagine had the ball been somewhere near, maybe somebody would have been bowled out, but actually the bug had done something and not the ball. It was so weird that even after that, the whole 15 minutes was taken with the pest control, the spray. The bugs were immediately back, and they were quite friendly with Deepthi Sharma for sure. Sneh Rana also had a bug going into her eyes. There was Fatima Sana. There was Nashra Sandhu. All of them had one bug each in their eyes.
That's something.
Yeah, that's
Reed is
an
saying,
experience.
when do you guys have to leave tonight?
Yes,
What time?
3 a.m. is our flight. We have to leave in another half an hour.
What the hell? I hope you're packed.
Yeah, just we just reached.
Great. No, I'm saying I hope you have done your packing.
Yeah. That's done. That's done.
Okay, good. Because I know how hectic it can be.
Yes,
Um,
it is.
if I need to remind you anything without saying anything, I will just say Victoria Court Station.
Oh yes. Oh my God.
Who will
We
ever
had
forget
some
that?
experience there. And
But
don't forget
yes,
how I forgot my backpack itself.
yeah, exactly. And we're thinking, huh?
Yeah. What? Where?
and I get bullied for my memory loss.
Because you have it
Look at
frequently,
all of
buddy.
you.
You have it frequently. We have once in a lifetime.
Rohit did not remember for 20 days his iPad was
Yes,
in the
yes.
apartment.
I heard this new achievement from one of our teammates that apparently for 20 days he did not remember that his iPad was lying in an apartment.
Where I was staying. And you know what? That iPad was placed such. Um, it was right next to the stuff that the apartment people keep, coffee and all of that. And they also
Yeah.
had other devices like Amazon Echo and speakers and all. So I thought, Arey, inka hi apartment ka hi hai.
Of
So
the
I didn't even
apartment.
say anything.
It's only possible with us. And let's not even go into, what all Shubhayan has lost and
Oh my
dedicated to
god.
uh, UK. So when he's going to Australia, I'm actually worried more for Australia than for Shubhayan.
I think he needs to now have tattoos of a checklist
Yes,
so
yes.
that he
Much
can,
like
do this.
Amir Khan did in the movie Gajni. You
Yep, yep.
know?
Wallet, passport.
Yeah.
But okay, let's get back
Yeah.
to the cricket now. Reet here is saying, honestly, today Pakistan fielding is better than India. Batters playing straight to bowler who misfield to long on and concede a run. Poor stuff from Richa as well.
Absolutely. It was at one point it was very tough to understand what was India trying to do at all with the fielding. I thought I have not seen such poor ground filling in a long time. And it wasn't a light problem or anything because the lights were right up even when India was batting. So it couldn't have been that your eyes are getting adjusted to the lights. It happens. If it's a 1:30 start, then if you're fielding second, all of a sudden all the lights are put up and your eyes take some time to adjust. But here, because it's a 3 p.m. start, Gargi, by the time you're batting in the first innings, the lights are itself up. And also today was overcast conditions. So actually the floodlights were on from 3:30 itself. So there was no way you were trying to adjust to the light. It was absolutely poor fielding. And with Richa, I think there was the whole explanation that one of our friends also gave in the media box. Well, she moves, her initial movement is towards the leg side, and then anything on the offside is very difficult to get hold of, which again was explained very clearly on TV as well. That her first movement is towards the left side, and then of course she cannot move to the right. She has technical flaws, she needs to look into it.
Oh, absolutely. Simon Mitra is saying, unless your name is Simon. I
Simon
don't know.
Mitra.
Simon Mitra. I just called you Simon. Sorry. the, the
Simon, go
Indian team,
back.
not Simon Mitra though.
The Indian team needs to think. Their opener partner needs more runs from both of them, and also Richaji needs to catch all the catches. Kranti did superb today. Kranti was expected to do well throughout the World Cup. I think Snehashish and I have always said that Kranti will be one of the players to watch out for. We need Smriti Mandana to score, Gargi. I mean, you cannot be scoring in bilaterals and then two of the easier World Cup matches you are in scoring. The problem is, out of the four matches, if Smriti scores in one or two, I'm repeating again, the problem is the way women's cricket fandom works as well. The problem is this 88 runs win should not be celebrated. It is just a two-pointer. In fact, you know what? Give India 1 point for the way they have played, and Pakistan 1 point for the way they have played. This match should have ended in such a high note. I cannot believe that India scored a 247 and they just won by 88 runs. Even in the mid innings, I was saying we will be clinical with the ball and we will get 150, 160. But to be honest, batters win you matches. Bowlers are going to win you tournaments. Are your bowlers capable enough to win you tournaments? Is what we'll get this answer in the next four matches. Yeah, in mute, you keep talking. Ashish Purna, a lot
I
of work for the top and middle batters to up their game against Australia and England, especially. Only A plus performances can win us the next games. So far, it's been B minus. We are a skilled team, but lacks the X factor. I'm not doubting the skill, Gargi. Of course, we are skilled, but what I'm doubting is the mentality because it does not seem like our mindset or our planning is on point. I just feel that we always have a plan A. We do not have plans to fall back on, and plan A mostly against Sena countries will not work for you. That is when you need plan B, C, and D until unless you have a plan B, C, and D. For example, the classic example was the Australian series. So the first ODI happened. Australia came with the plan with a plan. They defeated us. We came with another plan in the second ODI and we defeated Australia. But in the third ODI, Australia was used to our plan A that we used against them in the second ODI. Then we didn't have anything to fall back on. So that mindset is something that we need to change because it's actually worrying signs is someone like Sidramin scores 81 odd against you and takes the team as close as just 88 runs, below your target. So I think that's one huge concern. Think of it, one more 50 run from any of the batters, and they're 30 runs almost close to you, beating you. That would have been, far worse. Yes, but everybody has to get their A plus game in the next four games. Absolutely correct.
absolutely they do. I mean, it's much needed at this point. There was this question about Earthlings is saying, yes, we won, but fitness levels of our players is very poor. This team will not play well against Australia. Trisha, if I'm not wrong, I've been in ref sports for not even almost. It's 2 years now, and we
Yes.
have been talking about this fitness issue since the past 2 years with this new team.
And this is something which I was telling Snehashish yesterday itself, right, Snehashish? That Smriti Mandana has a particular problem with her elbow, a technical problem, which actually stops her from, playing more freely towards the leg side. And this problem, Gargi, I have been talking about since 2017. The 2017 Mandana and the 2025 Mandana cannot have the same technical problem. That's a problem with the coaches, and not only the coaches, the support staff. You have coaches and support staff for every single, like, you have a batting coach, you have a bowling coach, you have a head coach, you have masseuse, you have physiotherapist. But what is it actually coming all boiling down to? You have a fielding coach, you have a trainer. The fitness levels. Why is Richa still so unfit that she cannot move? She cannot wait for every catch to go to the first slip. And you cannot drop a Beth Mooney or a Phoebe Litchfield or an Aliza Healy. They're not going to give you five chances like a Sidra Amin. None of them are Sidra Amin. You drop Sophie Devine or Amelia Kerr, you have dropped the match. And it's not like Richa has not done that. Richa keeps doing it, keeps faltering. So, as you perfectly said, the problem is this team has not moved ahead as far as improving their standards is concerned. Had cricket been a game of more than five teams, India would have struggled. Because it's only top five teams, India is still at number three, four most of the times.
Absolutely. Two more super chats here. Ayush Jindal is saying, view on Richa's keeping and DRS calls pathetic.
Yeah,
Richa,
I didn't
with the
understand
gloves,
why
has
were those
never
DRS
been
calls taken.
she's never been impressive with the gloves.
She has been extremely average. But Gargi, you are the wicket keeper of the Indian team. If you do not improve, what I have no idea. I mean, in fact, as far as I know, one of the former wicket keepers had actually spoken to Richa about some technical adjustments, but probably that didn't work out with her or whatever it is. But yes, she has to work a lot on her fitness. She has to work a lot on her judgment as a wicket keeper. I think that is something that is completely missing. She's misjudging a lot of balls. Either she's getting up late or she's getting up early. One of the two is continuously happening. So the judgment as a keeper is extremely important. And as a keeper, you have a very, very important role to play as far as DRS is concerned. That is another part
Yeah.
where I feel Rucha needs to take a lot more responsibility, because as a captain, especially Harman also, Gargi, you know this, that Harman stands in the boundary line.
Yeah.
Yes, when the poor DRS calls were taken today, she was in the inner circle, but she does a lot of fielding in the boundary line. It's not possible for her to understand from there. That's where the fielders come into play, especially the wicket keeper. That's a huge miss as far as Richa is concerned. And here we welcome Mr. Mukherjee.
Yes.
Sneha Sheesh, give us
Yes.
your first thoughts.
Yeah, it's two in two, but it's not convincing at all. I think the
Hmm.
way bowlers bowled, I think it is more, more beater than the batting what we saw.
Yes.
Yes, at least we expected bowlers will come out and at least bowl them out maximum 110 or 120. Even that is more. We expected under 100. But again, I think the catches should have been taken, and then only you can bundle them out under 100, because 26 for 3 you dropped Sidra Amin, who eventually got out for 81. You dropped four times, right? Okay, in Sri dropped her on her own bowling. I can give the benefit of doubt to that, but the drop that Richa Ghosh had, it's it's just
It should
you
be a
cannot
criminal
forgive.
offense. It should be
Yeah,
a criminal offense, to
ultimately
be honest.
what she did now, the score that the contribution that she made with the bat, it got overshadowed.
Correct.
Eventually the runs she added, that eventually proved to be very vital for India in this clash. you know Obviously questions still arise why team management didn't send her earlier, but still as of now she has clicked. Now they will be fine, happy, okay, our plan worked. But the way she dropped those catches, I think her batting performance got overshadowed. Everyone will forget what she has done with the bat. Everyone will now talk about her wicket keeping skills.
Okay, Akash Tiwari is saying this team is not giving huge confidence. That's exactly what Sneha she just said right now.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
uh,
All of us are being shaken. I mean, and the problem, Gargi, we could have said one bad day, but the
Yeah.
problem is we struggled against Sri Lanka also. So you cannot have two bad days, right? You can have one bad day. You will never have two bad days. And if you have two bad days against two of your easier opponents, because Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Bangladesh are easy matches, right? You have 6 points for the taking. But if you're struggling against Sri Lanka, Pakistan, already Bangladesh, I think, will be tougher. Actually, I'm being very honest, because
Yes.
Bangladesh spinners are much better than Pakistan spinners. Maruf Akhtar is much better than Dinah Big and Fatima Sana. Way more consistent with the swing. It will be tougher for us. And if we are struggling in Sri Lanka, Pakistan, and Bangladesh, तब तो सेना countries के लिए हम क्या ही करेंगे?
फिर हम पाकिस्तान बन जाएंगे.
एग्जैक्टली उनके अगेंस्ट हम ही पाकिस्तान बन जाएंगे.
That's how it's going to happen. Um, uh, uh, had no Metapod is saying had no clue that Pakistan women's team was this bad. Okay.
इसीलिए रेड स्कोर्स
Saika
देखना होता है, हम तो पहले दिन से बोल रहे
फिर भी
हैं.
आज तो अच्छा बैटिंग कर लिया.
हाँ.
Saika Chatterjee, I agree with Gargi and Trisha. Their fitness is improving. They are क्या बोल रही हूँ मैं? They weren't agile and didn't look athletic at all. A gulf of difference compared to New Zealand.
Australia, New Zealand, I think that's what they wanted to write. In short, Sena
नहीं है
country.
क्या होता है?
Of course, this is the problem. Whenever you ask any former cricketer or anybody analyzing, they will say that the skill difference between Indian players and the Sena countries players aren't much. And I completely agree with them. But my problem is the skill difference does not show or gets overshadowed because there is so much difference in agility. You, huh? किससे शादी कर ले? क्यों शादी कर ले? नहीं, अभी गार्गी तुम शादी मत करो, अभी तुम पोस्ट शो करो.
Songbeat is saying Sneha bowled 50 full tosses.
Not 50, but yes, they bowled a lot of full tosses.
No,
In
getting
fact,
wickets.
at one point, one of the commentators, I'm not going to take the name because फिर controversy ना हो जाए, actually said that Sneh Rana is getting wickets of full tosses. तो लग रहा है इसीलिए उनको लग रहा है कि हम full tosses ही बॉल करते हैं यार, wicket तो मिल रहा है कम से कम. It was that bad. And I don't know, Gargi. Sneh Rana did not practice ever since India landed in Colombo. So that's one thing. I don't know if Sneh Rana is not 100% fit or something of that sort, but she did not practice when on the first day as well, and on optional practice to sirf Uma Chetri and Arundhati Reddy came.
Yeah. इधर कुछ एक there was this if international standards, okay. Not to body shame, but except Radha, Jemmy, and Harleen and Harman rest are all not having fitness of international standards. High time BCCI needs to take strict standards similar to men's team. Now, I wouldn't say, everyone's body reacts very differently. I mean, you
Yeah,
could
yeah,
be a little
body.
bit chubbier and still be very
See,
agile. Biggest example is
Sorry, not Debayan, I am fat. And as someone who's fat, I can tell you that I'm fitter than a lot of people writing about fitness here. So, fitness is different from your body fat amount. The problem here is not the body fat amount of players, because hello, they go through yo-yo tests. It's not like they don't have fitness standards. The problem is the agility. The problem is the anticipation. The problem is the whole mindset, the thought process. Where I'll give you an example, right? Veda Krishnamurti was never someone who looked athletic, but Veda Krishnamurti was someone who always wanted the ball to come to her. That's why she was way more agile than somebody like us, say a Smriti Mandana, who looks way more agile. If you see Veda and if you see Smriti, you will think that Smriti is the better fielder, but actually Veda is at least 5 times better. And even though she's retired, I can promise you that if Veda goes out to field today, she'll be 5 times better, because she's always anticipating. She wants the ball to come to her. She wants to attack the ball. That's why she's different. And that's the fitness, the mental fortitude that you want to see in a team like India.
and the biggest example is Rishabh Pant. Come on.
Yes.
He goes and does cartwheels out of nowhere.
Correct.
And
And
if you
seeing
want
his
to,
body type,
yeah,
you
you
won't
wouldn't
think
think
that.
that
Yeah.
he'd be able to do all that. So yeah. Hey Gargi, hey Rishabh. My question to all of you: by the brilliant finish of Richa Ghosh, we somehow managed to touch 250. But are you guys really satisfied with the batting? Not at
No
all.
one is satisfied.
No one is satisfied. Exactly. Short and simple answer from Snehashish. No one is satisfied.
No one is satisfied.
In fact, we are extremely
Anirban,
unsatisfied.
Anirban Chakraborty is saying 20% faith. Just hope miracles happen and our girls will. By
I'm hoping
this,
not. You know what? I actually don't want. If this is the standard we maintain, then we don't deserve the World Cup. And if we don't deserve the World Cup, then ideally we should not win it, so that we are forced to better our standards. Because if in this standard we win the World Cup, then we are not going to be forced to better our standard, and that's not something that I want.
absolutely. Pratika ki performance acceptable hai kya? Not converting stats. These runs are just helping her stats only.
अभी तो फिलहाल सारे बैटर्स का यही लग रहा है, राइट?
यस, वर्ल्ड कप से पहले तो बैटिंग ही स्ट्रेंथ था हमारा.
हाँ.
अभी 2 मैच हो गए तो बैटिंग ही काम नहीं आ रहा है. तो ऑल बैटर्स आर गेटिंग स्टार्ट्स, बट द प्रॉब्लम इज दे आर नॉट कन्वर्टिंग द स्टार्ट्स. आई थिंक दैट इज द प्रॉब्लम. एंड नाउ द बिग टेस्ट आर स्टार्टिंग नाउ, next 4 matches. So let's see.
You know how, I don't know how to explain this, but they start off very slow and then never take off. They're not able to
करेक्ट.
change that gear. वो होता है ना,
करेक्ट.
गाड़ी जब आप सीख रहे होते हैं, आप फर्स्ट गियर में डालने की जगह गाड़ी बंद हो जाती है.
फिर आप
वही हो रहा
धीरे
है.
धीरे 2-3 तक तो जाते हो, ये लोग दो
Yes,
तीन नहीं जाते. हाँ.
वही हो रहा है.
करेक्ट.
Okay, final few minutes on the show. When
Yes.
will Harman contribute with the bat?
I will.
Yes, again, we just hope not only Herman, all the batters start to score big runs from the next match onwards. But again, all the batters are getting start. I think that is very frustrating, I think, for all of them also. Because today, everyone expected to at least score around 280 to 90 minimum. But you are barely touched the 250 run mark. So I think, again, too disappointing outing for the batters. But hopefully, from the next match onwards, we can see some better performance for everyone.
Okay. Um. Okay. एक super chat आ गया.
I team, I feel the ground fielding is very impressive when bowlers are not stopping the straight drives. Need to bring the A game very soon. Not A, we need the A plus. You have the Sena countries coming in, and do not think this is something that I'm repeating over and over again. Do not think that just because South Africa were 69 all out against England, we are going to get away with it. We have not been able to bowl out Pakistan till the 43rd over. Let's, it's worrying signs, Kargi. Extremely worrying signs.
Absolutely. Trishadi, I remember asking about the poor fielding since 1.5 years, but it has gotten worse, I feel.
Yeah.
Since the T20
It
World
has
Cup.
not improved, that's for sure. Worse का तो पता नहीं. Hurling is a problem getting starts and throwing wickets. Do you think they should try Uma Chetri? No, I
No,
don't think they should try Uma Chetri. I think they should get Jemmy at 3, and they should get Aman Jot. You cannot have Aman Jot as your opening bowler. You have to get Aman Jot as the all-rounder. You can, like Aman Jot and Renuka cannot be replacing each
yes.
other, Gargi. They have very different roles to play. So I think that is one more concern that obviously India has to really get into. But also now, if they bring Jemmy at number 3, I think they're being unfair to Jemmy, right? Because for the last 2 years, she has been batting at number 5. Hurleen has been given that number 3 position, and all of a sudden, in the World Cup, if you're bringing Jemmy up and Jemmy doesn't score, you're gonna blame her for a lot of things. Unfair on the girl.
Yeah. Let's see if there are any more super chats or we can close the show in the next 2 minutes. Trisha and Snehashish, why don't you give your final thoughts? Next we meet, uh, who do we play against
South
next?
Africa.
South
South
Africa.
Africa.
Yes.
So ahead of the
In
South
Vizag,
Africa,
South Africa and Australia.
Australia, back to back.
yeah, take it away.
Yes, I think me and Tushari both have been saying this again and again, that the next 4 matches will decide where you are gonna end in this World Cup, right? If you want to get qualified for the semi-finals, you have to win at least 2 games out of the 4 games. But for that only, you have to play your best game.
Yeah.
But still, I think in those 2 matches, you are far away from your best game. So again, as I mentioned that before the World Cup, the only strength that we have, our open partnership and all, Pratika, Smriti, and then in the long order, and we saw in the Sri Lanka match, we saw how Amanjot Kaur and Dipti Sharma rescued us, right? But again, if you see the top orders batters were expected to do well, 124 for 6 against Sri Lanka, and today in every regular interval we were losing wickets. So I think no, that big partnership happened today. So that's a worrying sign. But again, I think the bowlers will struggle also tonight. I think that is also you need to look after. So again, a win is fine, two in two is fine, where unbeaten is fine. But still, bowling, batting, fielding lapses, everything is not looking that good. But hopefully, big opponents, hopefully, team will understand the value and hopefully they will come with a better performance.
Trisha?
Yeah, against Sena countries, I will just differ from him a little. You cannot bring in your best game. You have to be better than your best, and here you are struggling to be anywhere close to your best. So a lot of work to be done. But the bigger problem, Gargi, is you are playing, South Africa on the 9th. You are playing Australia on the 12th, and you are playing. You then have a 7 days gap, I think, and then you are playing England.
19.
But this 9 and 12, this is very close. So India will be traveling back tomorrow. So definitely they are not practicing on the 6th. On the 7th, they will practice. On the 8th, I'm guessing there will be an optional practice. And on the 9th, you have a match. Again, 10th will be your rest day because 9th was a match. 11th will be your practice. 12th is Australia. So I think you have very, very short time to turn this around. And now it is 2 in 2. If it becomes 2 out of 4, suddenly you are under complete pressure against England, who, by the way, Gargi, are winning the World Cup. So it is going to be very, very tough from here on.
Absolutely. On that note, okay. On that note, we'll take your leave. They have a flight to catch, so we'll have to let them go. We can't hold them any longer because they
Yes,
cannot miss this flight. We'll be back very soon.
exactly.
Thank you so much for joining. Lots of content coming your way. Thank you.